Hey everybody, this video is going to walk you through some of the requirements I'm looking for in our civil liberties country comparison project. In a second video, I'll go over an example as well as the rubric. So again, the purpose of this project, this is your unit assessment, is to use the research you're gathering about your countries and the specific civil liberties and rights issues you're looking into and visually present it. Probably in the form of an infographic. So you can use a program such as Canva, PictoChart, or some of these other ones that are linked here. Feel free to play around with them and see which one you like best. As an alternative, you can do like a physical poster on poster board where you visually present your research, but all the same requirements will still apply. So those requirements include a claim. So you got to have a clear claim, just like any argument, like you would do with a paper or a presentation. You're making a claim here, all right? And that claim should have a clear line of reasoning supported by evidence. You're just showing all of that information in a more visual way. So your claim should state how well the U.S. and your comparison country protect or weaken the civil liberty or right that you're researching. So this is a project, and you're doing this in a comparative way. I want you to have excerpts from each country's constitution addressing the right or liberty you have identified. You should have two specific historic or current examples of how your country has denied this civil liberty to people, civil liberty or right. And you should have two specific or current examples of how your country has protected this civil liberty or right, or conversely, how people have fought for that particular right or liberty at some point. I also want you to have a brief answer at the end to the unit question, which is under what circumstances, if any, should citizens' freedoms be restricted? As far as your sources, okay, so just like any academic argument, you've got to have sources, and I want those sources in MLA format, and I'm going to hold you to that at a little higher standard for this particular assignment. So I want you to use a citation generator, get your sources in MLA format, and provide me with a good works cited in addition to your infographic or poster. I want you using a mix of high quality primary and secondary sources. You need to have a minimum of 5 sources. One of those sources needs to be from an academic database. So you can use this link here, and you can go to the TASM library where you can check some of these I've listed here that I'd recommend. You can always go talk to Ms. Nicholas to get some recommendations or help with that. I also want you to include one primary source. This is not including the Constitution excerpt you're going to use. You got to have one additional primary source in your infographic or poster. And you need to have some sort of data analysis. So you need to have some aspect of your infographic or your broader argument needs to include data to support your claim of how well these particular countries protect or do not protect this particular right. Make sure you're also providing citations for all the images you use. Those don't count for the 5. I just want you to get in the habit of citing images. Let's see, what else? When you do your works cited, you can have it numbered, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when you're citing something in your infographic or poster, you can just use the number. You can just indicate the number of the source you're using. So for example, 32,000 priests were imprisoned under blank's rule, X's rule, right? You could just point me to source 3, all right? That's where that information was found. So this project is your opportunity to get creative, right? Present an argument, something you're interested in a visual way. This should not just be a simple explanation of historic events. I'm looking for a real argument here, okay? Just like you'd make in a paper, all right? You're going to have a claim, and you're going to support that claim with a clear line of reasoning and evidence, okay? You're just presenting it, again, in a visual way. In the next video, I'll go over an example, and also we'll take a look at the rubric.